non-meta heroes chosen in the league, because it does make it does make casting a lot more interesting. So I'm excited to see where this goes, especially since this could be the last game for the season.
This could be.
Yeah. I have seen the gold lane Harith. I haven't seen the jungle Harith since
M1?
Since season.
Since the first world championship.
Yes, I'm wondering how. Yeah, it has. I'm wondering how well this is going to do, or what the thought process of what Harith counters here. Maybe to get behind the X-Borg, or I guess we're going to find out here.
I mean,
oh, it looks like.
Can definitely dash around a little bit. Gala getting brought kind of low here. Needs to try to get away. Coming back as Ashley also comes to back them up. But I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen. It's hard for you to say, like, do they have any early game advantage here? Harith will have some late game opportunity, but I'm wondering how the real damage output is going to be from the side of Insomniacs when we get close to that 10-minute mark.
Right, not only that, but like New Wave does a really good job extending the game, especially since their comp is for late game right now. So I'm kind of excited to see if they are able, if Insomniacs is even able to capture the early game advantage here.
I think the only real early game that they have is Ashley and Cracks. Yeah, Lilia, and that Poquito damage can be pretty crazy, but that's kind of, yeah, see, in Japanese kind of wisely just dancing around here and still putting a decent amount of damage by getting lured in.
Here comes Pogi, though, with that ultimate. Japanese forced to use the flicker, getting to the front of this tower, but this isn't the position. Hate's gonna lock you up. Craxy does miss the left jab, but Pogi able to get the kill. Tamal and Dogtor opting to not engage this fight. This isn't where they want to take it.
Yeah, and now they are starting to put a lot more pressure onto that gold lane. Definitely not wanting to see Japanese scale anymore, especially with what they had to go through in the last fight. It looks like Gala actually might be in trouble here.
Yeah, the last Insanity able to finish him off, and with Gala out, does Insomniacs want to contest for this turtle here?
Yeah, it looks like they're kind of dancing around the possibility here. Harith is picking up that blue buff first because it's... Oh, wow. Yeah, see, and then that early damage by Craxy is just absolutely debilitating there. And it looks like they are going to go ahead and pick up this turtle on the side of Insomniacs here.
Game 4, question mark? Game
Yeah.
4?
I think it's too early to call.
It's a little too early to call.
Especially coming from T-Rex. We know better.
You're right, I'll stop talking, my bad.
At this point.
Craxy, though, putting some nice pressure on the Japanese. She does bring out the shotgun, decides to bring it back, but look at Hate and Ashley sitting in the bush. Ashley coming back a little bit, but Hate sticking around, wanting to help out Craxy if things get tough. Ashley also following in. Japanese doing a little bit of burst damage. Hate decides not to use that I'm offended yet. Decides to back off. So I like the patience we're seeing, I like the patience from Insomniacs right now, especially from Hate, and just some of the players, and the same thing from New Wave, deciding when and where they want to take these big fights.
Yeah, I don't know. For right now, it does seem like it's kind of sliding in the side of Insomniacs here, especially with his engagements and the aggression that they're able to throw out. But once Ziggy starts coming online on that Alice, and once Japanese starts getting that damage in, and even Dogtor, I'm actually wanted to check out what build he's going for. If he's going more for like that support build that we've seen on a Kaja, or for that damage with the Twin Blades and the Reaper. I'll check that out. But yeah, I think late game this might be a different story for them. Oh yeah, definitely going with that damage build, that one hitter build on the Kaja.
Not only that, I mean, so do you think with the side of Insomniacs having so much magic output, so much magic damage, that could end up being a downfall for them, though?
Good. Especially since they do a lot of continuous damage, so all they gotta do is just build radiant armor.
Well, you're gonna have to have somebody tank it out, because that's the problem with this magic damage. If you got burst, and once you're done with that little bit of burst that you have, you're kind of like just sitting there, and like Exai was saying, like on the side of a New Wave, you have continuous damage on the side of Japanese and Nikto, so it's. It's going to be an interesting fight here.
You know, but so far, I mean, one thing they do have, they have this Esmeralda, and there's not a whole lot of answer to that for the side of New Wave. A bit of an engage here. Gala pushing them back. A trade in the towers, but overall Insomniacs does get that turtle, and they climb. They're finally hitting that a little over 1,000k gold lead on the side of Insomniacs. They seem to be playing better than what we've seen before. Pogi coming in, he wants his kill, trying to close the distance, able to get it, but now he's up against the wall, gonna get dragged in with that Divine Judgment under the tower and taking out Gala, now into the back line with that Falling Star Moon, trying to get something but not quite able to.
Yeah, and they're gonna have, as long like we were talking about before, the first game they had the lead, they were able to pretty much push in even with a Lord, but they got baited out by Ziggy on that Esmeralda. So maybe the things are going to work out different here, where they are going to be able to keep and hold on to this lead with that Lord push.
Most definitely. I mean, they are playing a nice game. They've taken 3 towers already, and it's not like just the core is doing well. You got Craxing the bottom, handling Japanese on this Beatrix. Japanese sitting at 1 and 2, probably one of the worst starts we've seen from him this whole playoffs.
Right.
So I mean, overall, Insomniacs seem to have control of the game, which they haven't. You know, the first game they did have a nice early game. So do you think we may see a replay of game 1? Does New Wave have the end game, have a better end game that they can rely on?
I actually do think that Insomniacs do have a really good early game. They always control, well, considering like we've just went through game 1, they did control early game. However, they lost that momentum, and New Wave was able to elongate that game into late game.
Yeah, we do have a bit of engagement. Hate taking some damage, does get some of the lifesteal. The last Insanity takes out Hate and Pogi. Now he's going to focus in on to Ashley, but Craxy coming in the back, able to get that left jab onto Nikto and get the kill. But while this is happening, Ashley picked off in the back line from that Alice. Gala continuing to harass on its Maul in Japanese, but don't overstay your welcome. Back off. And I don't think you want to try to even go for this turtle right now, right?
I don't think yet. It's that fight kind of was almost even for both sides there. It did look like at first New Wave did have the advantage there, but very quickly Insomniac's able to answer back with that Poquito and took down Nikto very quickly. It's been a lot of back and forth, and it's really hard to tell right now. I don't think either team, even with the 2K gold lead, actually has a real advantage yet.
It's still too early to tell, especially with the gold and also the kills. However, New Wave, they do have a few towers down.
Yeah, I mean...
Yep, and you can see up at the top, Alice going ahead and pushing that top tower. Esmeralda trying to answer quickly.
Looks like they're going to be able to take this turtle, though. Pretty uncontested. Ashley able to zone them away. And New Wave knowing they don't want to press too hard. They want to just try to maybe buy some more time. And I know earlier... Hold on a second. Ziggy a little low on health here. We'll be able to flicker out of this. Tamal coming to back up, but the rest of the team coming in. Hate keeping tabs. And so earlier you mentioned that New Wave has a nice end game, Xayah. But I just think that the composition of Insomniacs is a nice composition to stay spread out. You know, they don't really need to run too close together. So I just feel like Ziggy on this Alice isn't going to be too detrimental. It's going to be hard for her to make a big set. It's going to be hard for them to really group them up to where Japanese can be useful. And I think as long as Insomniacs can play their compositions correctly, like the way their composition when they're hitting a 5 versus 5, the way they position themselves in these fights, they can definitely come out on top in this game.
And I totally agree with you with that. I think you did mention, I mean, that's a good idea, especially with Craxy with the mobility. Esmeralda being able to escape team fights easily, they are spread out. It would be a lot harder for Ziggy to even have that. It'll be hard for them to even have a group for Ziggy to even engage with Alice. However, they are late game heroes, so like they might do like maybe that's not what they need. Maybe they just need to pick off like a one or two damage heroes, and they'll be fine.
Yeah. They do have Dog Kaja who can get in and maybe make that happen, you know. I think the Harith right now is the target. You're not going to be able to take down Ashley in one shot because of those black shoes.
Right.
So like the Harith and the Paquito? Or do you try to take out the tanky front line?
The Paquito has been the flank on them this whole game, and I feel like as we start getting more to the late game, more into team fights here, I think you're going to start seeing a little bit is where New Wave's comp shines, especially when Harith decides to go in there, because they're going to have to close ranks if Kaja can snatch on the Harith. Insomniacs are going to have to try to close ranks on him, and that's where Ziggy's going to shine here. So I guess we're going to see it. You just have Craxy just waiting.
Yeah, I know, just sitting here
for
like
somebody.
Yep. I don't need to do anything. This is my job. Sit here and wait for the play. And they're gonna walk right into him.
That's like how you should be playing as an EXP leader, trying to pick off the back line. So Craxy on Paquito, he's doing his job. He's fine. You don't have to worry about him.
Especially when you're ahead like this, and I like, you know, he's just freezing this lane. He knows he doesn't need to get gold right now. He's got the advantage. That's not who you want to walk in your base. All three of them are in your bush. So he's gonna flicker away. But just Insomniacs playing smart, you know, freezing up the lanes, keeping it steady. They want New Wave to come to them. Gala does get hit by that Divine Judgment, but the damage just isn't there. Ziggy trying to do something to that back line, but not quite able to lock anyone down. Does use that Winter Truncheon. Finally getting a bit of a play onto Hate Nikto with that Blast Insanity, but not able to make the connection. Craxy re-engaging, does get the pick onto Nikto. Now Dogpool with the Divine Judgment onto Gala, still not able to finish it. Japanese clearing the wave to bide a little bit more time, but Insomniacs are going to roll over to the mid and take this tower.
And they're ready to even take Lord too. Yes, they did lose one member on New Wave. However, that kind of costed them the Lord too.
True.
Yeah, and they already picked up this Lord now, and the wave crashing here at bottom. I felt like, unfortunately, New Wave played that perfectly, but just did not have the damage to bring down Insomniacs. And that might be like, unless, I'm trying to look at the items here now. Yeah, there's only one item per on Alice and Dogtor here. So, I mean, they're going to have to push this out pretty late to be able to have this go in their favor, because right now these team fights are just not going for New Wave here. And yeah, we do have a on the side of okay, so
something I want to point out was that inside of Insomniacs, they already did pick up 3 Dominance Eyes.
I was gonna say that. I was like, you should be happy.
Which is perfect, right? Like they did not do that last game, so they have learned their lesson. They're prepared this time.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's another pick for Craxy, another kill going into his pocket, putting him at 3-1-3. But yeah, they definitely maybe learned from their mistakes. This time, almost all of them have Dominance Ice instead of one of them. So hopefully, whether that's the thing that's making a distance, whether this their overall gameplay, but it's probably a little bit of everything. We're definitely seeing a very different game than what we saw the first 2 times. Playing well when they're in the lead here, and I like to see this, and I got a feeling we might just see game 4 here.
Yeah,
game 4?
Game 5?
Game 5?
This is kind of like shades of what you guys were talking about before, that this comp really kind of lends itself to being spread out, in that every single time New Wave goes to engage on them, they're kind of only engaging on 2 or 3 members of it. Right. And by the time they're done with using their abilities, you have that Craxy coming in from the side, pretty much finishing off what was started in the middle there. So it's coming down to, like, they're losing to a strat that I think they were doing here in the second and first game, where they're trying to group up here, but they're allowing the enemy, they're allowing Insomniacs to go ahead and split push here and get, like, and pretty much keep these waves in their favor. Like we could see that this wave is about to crash up top, and this is going to probably be a perfect opportunity for Insomniacs to go ahead and try to either push onto this Lord or start an engagement here at their blue.
Yeah, I mean, Lord is coming up, so this is like, they've been freezing lanes the whole time, but this is the point when you want to push that opposite lane in a little bit. So again, just nice macro control over the map from Insomniacs, knowing like, okay, we want to contest Lord soon. Let's really push in these waves, so they have to make a decision. You know, do you clear or do you come in? But a nice conceal play coming from Jamal. Hate responds with one of his own. Are we gonna try to see the steal here? Gala keeping them at bay as Pogi works away onto this Lord, and it looks like New Wave is gonna back off here.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Gala pretty much doing what Ziggy was to them the first two games.
Yep.
It completely zoning out the entire team there. Just so tanky right now. Even with anti-heal, he's just a menace, and unfortunately, I think this is going to need to be a ban, like because honestly, your answer right now is not coping well with the Esmeralda pick.
I don't think they expect, you know, maybe TSU thought they could handle the Esmeralda, but right now it definitely seems to be a very deciding matter in these games. Lord, though, barreling down this bottom lane with a wave of minions at the top and the middle. A beautiful sync from the side of Insomniacs, and they are all closing in as a unit. Inhibitors are getting broken down. The middle and the bottom are taken out. The rest of Insomniacs still biding their time, not wanting to over-engage as Gala and Hate caught up by this wall. A nice come in from Ziggy, a flicker, getting the lock-in. In comes Last Insanity, doing some damage. Pogi taken out. Hate may just be next. Nikto pushing forward, able to get the double kill. Craxy now on the run. And this, they had to bottleneck into that middle, and that was the moment that Ziggy saw. That's where that Alice came into clutch when they were grouped up, and they were able to make a big play to where New Wave kind of buys themselves some more time here.
And Gala almost getting bursted down there. I think they're actually going to be able to go ahead and take down this mid tower as well. But on the side here, from the flank, we see Paquito coming in, and he's just been... These are the types of Paquitos I hate.
The ones
My
that
matches.
The ones that just camp in the mid.
Yeah, there's a
campers.
fight going. Those dastardly bush campers.
Right, but like that was a really good gameplay from Alice, from Ziggy. That was definitely the perfect set for an Alice to go in. What was that, like 4 people? 4 heroes? I don't know, but that was like exactly what Ziggy needed to engage with an Alice.
And I mean, he waited for the perfect timing, right when they, right when they had to come into that small space in between. The wall came up from Grok. Ziggy comes in, gets it, and then flickers past the wall when they all think they're safe. And then Nikto just perfectly times it also with the Last Insanity to make sure they output as much DPS as possible. So that's the opportunity for New Wave. That, yes, there's still a huge gold deficit, but they are able to put themselves back into this game a little bit and give themselves a little more time.
Right, so you do see Lord coming up in 25 seconds. They are setting up for that. However, you do see Paquito out there.
Divine Judgment locks on Ashley. No time for black shoes for you. Now they're going to push in. Pogi uses that ultimate as Gala creates the space per usual, but they are going to be forced back off. Ashley is out, and I don't think Insomniacs want to try to take this fight with a man down, and it's a 30-second death counter as we go into the 19th minute of this game. Up in the top, Gala trying to clear this wave, but I don't think you want to do this alone. You're not as tanky as you were with Dogtor and Nikto outputting a bit more damage.
Yeah, but unfortunately, they're not really actually... New Wave is not actually able to make anything happen with that pickoff. Oh, Dogtor.
Shred it down. Gala chasing it, but Hate will bite the bullet. Nikto able to get the kill. Gala does secure one herself on to Dogtor, but now Gala's on the run, and it looks like New Wave still decides not to go for this Lord just yet.
We're seeing a bit of a job. The perfect opportunity for them to take Lord. However, Harris is up with the red tree, so maybe not.
Yeah, I'm kind of hesitant to say whether you should or shouldn't have gone for the Lord there, just because of Harith. It's one thing to have him down and then have a 5v4. Oh, it looks like Gal's gonna go in.
Gala finally being taken off the map. Harith sets down that ultimate, dashes around a little bit. It just slows everyone down as you're taking shots. He has the mobility to, similar to some other heroes like a Lance or a Ling, he does have the mobility to pull off a nice Lord steal.
Yeah, and the only thing is okay, Nikto might be in trouble here.
Yeah, I think he is. I don't think there's any. Oh, not able to get it. Now he's going to get suppressed. Pogi may go down here, still does have that immortality. Look at that health bar. I mean, these are the moments when it matters, and both teams definitely giving it their best.
Blue team turret has been destroyed.
I mean, it's just they're just jockeying for a position right now. Neither team able to actually get a good fight or a good enough engagement on the enemy team to where they actually feel confident in taking this Lord. And now, I think, yeah.
You on your edge of your seat there, man? You little.
Well, I'm just wondering what the.
Wait for a mistake.
Basically that's it. The only mistake I can see though is that Paquito is constantly kind of camping the bush away from his team. So if you do want that engagement, you're not going to have to worry about him if you can get them down quickly, and that's going to come down to focusing a target, focusing down Harith, focusing down Lilia, and not kind of taking that bait from the Ruby or the Esmeralda.
Yeah, but I mean, I kind of like I feel like Insomniacs really opting to go for macro. They are finally deciding to close in on this Lore. Ashley using those black shoes a little bit early. Dogtor with the flicker in. They do get the kill onto Ashley, and members are still up on the side. Finally, Nikto going down, but the immortality is popped, and he's going to have that passive to get out of this quite safely. They're not able to chase down. Gala also using the immortality, but in comes Craxy, finally able to get a kill onto Japanese. It's a 2-for-1 trade in to the side of Insomniacs, and now they're going to roll back and focus in on this Lord finally.
Yeah, and man, every single time you think you have the advantage there, Insomniac's able to answer back. You have Craxy coming in with that Paquito, able to put in a ton of damage, making short work of Japanese here. Oh, but it looks like they actually might come in and contest this.
I'm wondering, are we going to see the big play from Ziggy?
I think it would be really hard for them to even contest that, especially
since
they're
Insanity, forcing Pogi out. And they do take it. Nikto able to take the Lord. The Winter Truncheon does come up from Gala, but down goes Ziggy. 3 members down. Ziggy with a huge death counter. Yes, the inhibitors are still up on Insomniacs, and I got a feeling they can melt down this Lord. We may be seeing a 25 to 27 minute game here.
Yeah. The only thing that this Lord did, especially when you took those 2 deaths, the only thing that this Lord is doing right now is going to give them a little bit of breathing room to kind of recuperate and I guess readjust what your plan is going to be here, because right now they are just having trouble bringing down or even getting toward the back line. You have that Lilia, Ashley's able to come in and bait out a lot of abilities before she activates her black shoes, and then okay, so looks like we might actually have an engagement here at the mid.
Yeah, the Lord is getting melted down. Hate coming in, walks right into Dogtor and Tamal, but a nice I'm offended, but it's just not enough. Harris gets melted down. The immortality comes up, but still going down. Ziggy with the death counter still up, but that's a 60-second death counter for Pogi. The Lord will be taken out here. Gala coming into this back line, but the damage from Nikto right now, that true damage does wonders against Esmeralda as Japanese gets a kill. Ashley is next. New Wave pushing forward with a wave of minions down the middle. Craxy and Hate all alone. Can they defend this push, or are we going to see the sweep for the final? Ziggy flashes in, able to get the stun. Craxy into the back line, does some nice damage. Immortality comes up right under the ultimate of Japanese, and now Hate all alone, not able to defend off. New Wave will take this game. The death counters are just too high, and New Wave takes the championships.